Today we will be speaking about the endocrine disease, Graves' disease. And in no particular order, the presentation is by Nathaniel Cantor, Syed Mazer, and Juan Diaz. Now let's talk about what exactly Graves' disease is. Graves' disease is an autoimmune disorder caused by a faulty thyroid gland. The condition is usually associated with hyperthyroidism. It is one of the most common diseases associated with the thyroid gland. And it was named after Sir Robert Graves, an Irish surgeon who lived in the 19th century. And it roughly affects 1 in every 200 people. Now let's look at some milestones on Graves' disease. The first description of thyroid disease was described by a physician named Caleb Perry in 1786. In 1835, Sir Graves describes a case of goiter. In 1884, the use of a thyroidectomy, or the removal of the thyroid, is proposed for treatment in Graves' disease. In 1907, we see physicians prescribing iodine for those deficient in iodine. In 1949, a negative feedback loop is described of the thyroid and the pituitary gland. And lately in 2012, the thyroid follicular cells are generated from embryonic stem cells. A few common symptoms: hyperhidrosis, which is an excess of sweat, is due to high levels of T4 or thyroxine, which is increasing the metabolism. This in turn causes fatigue, and high levels of T3 have been linked to depression, anxiety, nervousness. Also, a few common symptoms are the thyrotoxic myopathy, which is weakening of the muscles, which is also an overproduction of T4, and weight loss, which is caused by too much thyroxine. And here's a little example of the pathways in which the thyroid releasing hormone goes through the pituitary gland, which in turn releases the thyroid stimulating hormone, and that releases too much T3 and T4. A few moderate symptoms include goiters, which is the production of TSI enlarging the thyroid gland, which causes and swollen bumps or this whole area in the neck. Osteoporosis, which is due to high levels of parathyroid hormone, which activates osteoclasts to resorb calcium from bones, and tachycardia, which is a rapid heart rate. And those excess thyroid hormones amplify contractions and taxes the heart for more oxygen. And here we see a little example of high PTH levels. And now send it over to Syed. Thank you, Syed.